I really wish that you guys would do that. A lot of you may run to your parents or siblings or friends when you have trouble in a relationship. And yeah, it's okay to vent. But make sure the person you're venting to won't bring it up to your spouse's face. Make sure the person you're telling this to also knows. Also, really, I heard somebody say this and they were right. When you start telling family members how you're mad at your partner, and you get them mad and you guys make up and your family member's still mad about what that person did to you, don't do that. It's okay to be like, tell your friend, tell her, I'm just talking. I don't want you to take any of this to heart. And you need to say it like that. Because there are certain things that you may say that after a while seem so silly you and your spouse make up, and your family members will be like, I can't believe. And the next time you see them at the family gathering, especially if they've had a few drinks on them, they're gonna make a beeline to your spouse and start going da 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 da. And like, it's also gonna be like, wait, you told so? It'll create more friction and more tension. When you're in a relationship, be mindful of the advice you take, be mindful of the sources of advice, and also be mindful of how often you go for advice. Because you are supposed to be on a journey with this other person by yourself, just doing this other person. And if you can't see your way clearly to even asking the other person, hey, we're in a situation, how can I help you? And how can you help me that we come together and either fix this or journey on? Just be mindful that if you're an adult in a relationship, you will have conflicts, you will have situations. Not everything needs a relationship guru. Some things just need you sitting down quietly, and introspection is a big thing. Go over your own behavior, honestly, without rose-colored glasses or bias. Go over your own behavior and seriously ask yourself, have I offended this other person? And even if you did not mean to offend because you meant what you said, sometimes you can soften up a lot of people by just saying this. I'm sorry that what I said hurt you because I did not mean to say it in a way that would cause you pain. Now, you're not saying you didn't mean what you said. You're apologizing for the way it came off, the way you said it, your tone, your approach, maybe your timing. All these things can offend a person. And if you just make that apology, sometimes people are receptive. Sometimes people are still going to be mad at you because you didn't need to say all that. Well, then that's their opinion about what you said. But if you meant what you said, but you didn't mean the way it came out, stand on that. Don't take back what you said. Take back the way you said it. Rephrase it and approach it again calmly. And if they still don't accept that, leave them be. Don't keep trying so hard for someone else's acceptance and forgiveness. Once you have made, I think, a couple of really good, genuine attempts, and the person still is holding on to something, do not keep attempting. Because, ugh, that would just make you seem like, A, a beggar, B, like you knew the things you did were really, really bad, and C, like they can keep lording this over you forever. And some people will attempt to do that when you weren't even wrong. Here's what you do. You try to squash it, you try to, calm down the situation, and so that you can reconcile and come back together in whatever capacity that seems like. But if you made like 2, maybe 3 good attempts and it didn't work, stop. Some people just love to be upset. Some people would rather be upset at you than forgive you. But that's on them because the Bible says if they don't forgive you, God won't forgive them. That's on them. Don't keep going back and forth, back and forth. And so this can become even a game to the other person. And they could be using it as amusement or as a way to hurt you. And once you've gotten your business straight with God and you know He has forgiven you and you made the attempt for the other person, it is up to the other person to forgive you. It is not up to you to repeatedly ask for forgiveness if they're unwilling to give it. People should not forgive people for the other person. You forgive the person for you, so that you can move on, so that you can have peace and closure. And because it takes a lot, it weighs on you to keep a grudge and keep stuff going with a person. Let that go. And especially, I'm going to say it this way also. If someone has hurt you, as we do know, as long as you live, someone will be accountable for this. And they don't come back and apologize. They don't even acknowledge they've done anything wrong. Forgive them, go on, but don't have anything to do with them anymore. Like, don't keep having this person in your circle. I know the Bible says 70 times 7, but it also says don't take a snake into your bosom. You're not obligated to keep someone around while they keep hurting you. Nobody wants you. Sorry, nobody's sane and loving and having a relationship with the Almighty wants you to be in constant contact with someone that is hurting you. And just hurting you because they can. And if somebody keeps saying, well, that's just how so-and-so is, you may need to leave that other person alone too, because why have people around you that facilitate you being hurt or hurt you directly? And it's perfectly fine for you to stop being in close contact with family or friends. Don't care who they are to you. If they are repeatedly just hurting you and won't even recognize your attempts to make the situation better, leave them be. You can wish them all the best. You can pray for God to prosper them, but they don't have to be up in your face. You can sincerely want to bless them and want God to do everything they ever asked of Him. But you can't be around them because of the way they treat you. And you'll treat it just like you treat anything that's only affecting you. You're not asking anybody to stop talking to them. You're not asking to hear bad news about them. All you want is you don't want to hear any news about them. And you don't want anyone telling them about you. That's it. And everybody's free to have relationships with who they want to. And therefore, you stay out of a whole bunch of mess. Your family doesn't lose anybody because everybody's still got you and that other person. So nobody loses anything. But you have set clear-cut boundaries. That is our word for today. Boundaries in your life. Where you will not allow yourself to be someone else's punching bag. Be it physically, emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. You had it and you're done. And those who will agree to keep both of you in their lives like this, it's fine. But if someone's like, oh, you need to reconcile. I love it how people are like, Jesus will want you to. No. I made my peace with him, and he's okay with me staying away because he knows what would happen if I didn't. Man thinks they know so much, but you know you. And you know what would happen if you didn't say you would go stay away and stay at peace. You know that person just wouldn't pass it on by because there's always a chance to hurt you. And they love to hurt you because you're the soft target. You're the easy target. You're the one that can actually take it and not freak out and flip out when they say stuff to you in public. You're the type of person with enough common sense, emotional maturity, and ability to read the room that you do not act out. But see, if you go around these people as much as some other people want you to, then it becomes a constant poking of a bear. What happens when you poke a hibernating bear for long enough? They wake up and they maul you. And when that happens, can you blame them? Can you blame the person for mauling you when all you did was poke and poke and poke, and you were given the opportunity to walk away and you just kept poking? Is that really anybody else's fault but the person doing the poking? It's just like when you tell a child, stop it now, get out of my face, and they won't, and they keep going, and when you yell at them and you tell them they need to go to their room, they have no business complaining because you told them to stop. You have given them the warning. You have sounded the alarm that this should cease. And a lot of times I see this happening in adult relationships with family members. I even have a family member that growing up I was always told, you know how she is. You know how she is. I said, well, then you ought to know how I am. If I'm supposed to know how she is, y'all all ought to know how I am. And my answer is no. And at a certain point, I just refused. I literally told my mom, I disengaged. That person had vexed me. I had watched this person vex my mom for decades. And my mom being the loving, saintly woman she is, it's like, oh, just how she is. Pass it on by. Don't regard it. If I don't take it to heart, you shouldn't take it to heart. But I had to watch that. And so for me, I just chose, it's not like I don't love this person, not that I don't care about them, but for my own peace of mind. And to keep my own flesh out of the matter, and to keep my own self out of willful sin, I will disengage. Because I know me, and I know My mother asked me one year, well, how come you don't call her? You don't bother? I said, because I know my mouth. And I already know what I am likely to say. So I don't do things that would create situations like that. Because that's what keeps me respectful to this person. And I would just refuse, like, if we're together physically, I will talk to them. I don't mind. But I will not call. I will not and this person no longer has my phone numbers. And when they did while I was married, my husband and I would look at the call ID and both in unison, not it and not answer. We just didn't want to. Now, it was funny how my husband got into this because he had only known her total 12 years at that point. But yeah, he was like, not it. And the thing that people forget is that you can be kind and simple to someone. You don't have to have everyone so close to you. You are not the... You know how people like, so-and-so was the glue that held the family together. What are we going to do now they're gone? The same thing the family did before that person was born? Carry on? That's what happens? You can't be the one person in the family that has to make peace with everybody's everything or have to hold everybody together because if you know everyone together, then it's so bad for everyone. No. A lot of times when you do that, you're doing that for you. That'll be another podcast somewhere down the line. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. And I have a lot of good stories about that one. But as I bring this now to a close, I gotta chuckle at this. Just be careful. Your relationship is between two people, unless it's a polyamorous relationship, which creates a whole set of other problems that I'm not even going to get into in this. So try to keep those third wheels out of your relationship. And see, God and Jesus are not the third or fourth wheel. Actually, you and your partner to God and Jesus are one flesh. So there's no third wheel. Unless you count yourselves. Because we have God, Jesus 2, then you guys makes 3. But I don't see that as a third wheel thing. I see that as a loving triangle. Not a love triangle, a loving triangle. Difference. Hopefully that phrase will catch on. Oh, maybe not. It's okay if it doesn't. I'll probably come out with 3 or 4 different ways to say that by the time even I'm done publishing this. So, be kind to yourself in your relationship. Pat yourself on the back every now and then when you've done something special for your partner. Because sometimes you'll do something special for them and they won't even recognize you did it. So it's okay to pat yourself on the back. And if they don't know that you did it or they're not grateful immediately, don't always take offense to that. Even your partner, even your spouse has their own life. And there are things going on with them that they may not even feel ready to share with you yet. Just be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. And I know I quoted it, but I don't know where it is exactly. I believe it's in Ephesians. It was a memory verse at a summer camp, and it kind of sucks. I'm way too old for summer camps, yes, but it was way back in the day, and we all had to learn it, and we all had to recite it, and it was pretty cool. So, just remember that. And please, for the love of everything holy, stay away from reality TV shows that have to do with mating, dating, or relationships. Those can lead to some of the worst choices of mates and spouses because you're not picking the persons for the right reasons. You want everything you see on soap operas and TV, and that's not real either. Peel back the curtain. And remember, your relationship is your own. So, God bless you, have a good evening, and have fun in life as much as you can.